Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Yoga Sciences podcast and YouTube channel. Thank you, Cathy Mckinnon, for being on with us today. She dealt with infertility and she also diagnosed with cancer in 2008. Um, Now she has her miracle baby. She calls her miracle baby, but I think he's grown up already. She is the founder of the Wellness Warrior Coaching, and she's also contributed a chapter in the #1 international best-selling book called Silent Grief, Healing, and Hope. There it is.
It is.
So thank you for being on with us today, and I'm really excited for you to share your experience and how you dealt with everything. You work with women working on their confidence, balancing their life, and just you have a coaching program as well for that. So thank you for being on with us.
Thank you for having me. Yes, it's been quite a journey of a roller coaster for me, and I take all those lessons learned and everything that I've gone through to transform my life now to help other women shift their lives to find that joy and confidence and really find their authentic selves that they have deep inside with them. Sometimes we need some help kind of digging that out.
So after you went through the I don't know if it was a miscarriage or you couldn't get pregnant, and then how long did it take you to be able to have a successful pregnancy, and what did you do to get you there, the healing and just everything?
Yeah, the total process from starting my my first pregnancy and my first miscarriage to when I had my son was 5 years. So very long process. Lots of things happened in between, but I had 3 miscarriages before I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And then I had to go through all my cancer treatments. I had my thyroid completely removed. I went through radiation. And then once I was cleared from the radiation, which takes about 12 months for it to completely get out of your body, I was allowed to attempt to conceive again. And again, I had another miscarriage. And then I was working with an infertility doctor, taking some different infertility medications to help my body retain the pregnancy, because obviously I had no problem getting pregnant. It was the problem in retaining the pregnancies. And so then I got pregnant again with the pregnancy that is now my son. And it was a twin pregnancy. So that was terrifying and exciting all at the same time. I ended up losing his twin, but he survived. And that's why I call him my little miracle baby. He was my little fighter. And he kept strong through it all. But there was a lot of so many different steps in between there. You know, we go through as women so much every day, week, month, this roller coaster of things that we deal with. And, you know, all the doctor's appointments, all the trying, searching for an answer. And I know a lot of women who deal with infertility do this too. Like, we just want an answer. We want a simple answer so we can just fix it. And many times there is no direct or clean cut answer that we can just, you know, here's the fix and you're fine, carry on. It's a very kind of complex matter. And that's frustrating for women because we want to know and understand our own bodies, and we think we know and understand our own bodies. And so after my son was born, I said that I wanted to be the best mom that I could be to him. He would bless me by being his mom. I owed it to him to show up the best that I possibly could. And the only way to do that was to clean up my life, to get healthy, to work on my mindset, to work on my environment, to work on my surroundings. And so I just started overhauling what I call my world. You know, we eat different now. We have a different routine. Our activities are different. You know, we go outside on bike rides together. We do all these different physical activity things together, where if I was still in my overweight, unhealthy state, there's no way I could keep up with this kid. But now I can, and it's so much fun to share those activities with him and be part of that, as opposed to just kind of sitting on the sidelines. And so I had some just local friends at first say, you know, what are you doing? How are you doing it all? And how are you showing up? You know, you're still happy, you're still glowing despite everything that's you have to juggle. And, you know, I started working with just a few local friends, and then it just kind of evolved. And I said, I'm going to open it up to the universe and see how many women's lives that we can truly help shift and help make this place better and more enjoyable for everybody, so that they can truly show up how they're meant to show up.
Thank you for sharing your story. That is must be a lot to deal with, and oh my gosh, like just everything that was going on. And I'm sorry about the loss of your babies, and I'm glad that you have one son that you can do things with and help other women. And so, if you could tell us more about the wellness warrior coaching.
Yeah, this all came about, you know, the business name came about because when I was going through everything I was going through with the infertility, with the cancer, and then shortly after my son was born, he was about 2 or 3, I actually went through a divorce and became single mom. So going through all this stuff that I was going through, those in my inner circle started to call me warrior, because I was battling through all these things I was battling through, but I was still showing up with my true spirit. I was still shining through and keeping on going on this mission that I knew I was going to be on. And so I knew that I had to incorporate that word warrior into my business name. And I knew, like, deep down inside, all of us women have this inner fighter, this inner warrior to fight for what it is we want in our lives. And so that's really what I work with women on now is, you know, typically I work with them on 90-day program, and we work on finding, you know, who it is they truly want to be, and then how do we set them up for success to get there? What do we need to change? What do we need to put into their lives? What do we need to take off their plates? You know, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and so it comes down to, how are you spending it, and are you being intentional with your time? And I completely understand life happens, distractions happen, you know, things will try to get us off track. It's life. But how do we get them on the right path so that they can truly get to that part of their lives that they can say, hey, this is the life I wanted and I'm loving it.
That's so true. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like the whole how to get it done and the whole process, the mindset is so important. So what are some of the steps that you do for yourself and for others just to work on the mindset and develop that habit and bring out the awareness of what to do, what to take on the next step and actually take actions?
Yeah, I think the number one thing, and I think especially as women, we struggle with this, is boundaries. You know, as women, we want to be people pleasers. We want to take care of people. It's innate nature to be caretakers as women. And far too often, we give so much of our time to taking care of others that we lose taking care of ourselves. And so creating those hard boundaries, which is challenging in the beginning because people are so used to you being everywhere, doing everything, so that you can have time to take care of and nurture yourself. Because if you're not nurturing yourself, you can't continue to show up.
Right. So what are the activities that you recommend or you do for yourself, the nurturing activities?
Yeah. So for me personally, I'm a yoga junkie. So I have to have at least one yoga class a week. I'm in the gym other days a week, but at least one yoga class a week for my clarity, my mind. I also, every Sunday night, I have my self-care time. You know, after my son is in bed on Sunday night, that is my time to do my meditation, you know, to take my bath, to read my book, whatever it might be, but that is my dedicated time where I turn off all the interruptions. There's no electronics, there's no phone buzzing, and I can focus on clearing my mind.
That's awesome. So like let's just say somebody's doing a lot and they can find time to squeeze in
Mm.
the self-care activities. So what are your recommendations for be able to somehow get that in and still not get overwhelmed with everything else that they have to do.
Yeah, my number one question would be, do they have to be doing everything that they're doing?
That's true.
Because sometimes we say, yes, of course we have to do these things, but when you step back and look at them, do you really? And if the answer is yes, okay, then we need to address how you get your self-care time, right? Is it after the kids are asleep? Is it maybe you wake up 30 minutes earlier so you can do your meditation? Is it, during a lunch hour, you get your workout in during a lunch hour? Finding these ways. Or do we look at your calendar, your schedule, and say, some of these things on your calendar and schedule, they're not must-haves. They're nice to haves. And so if you're getting to the point where you don't have time for you, those nice to haves might have to go by the wayside until you can get some time and focus on you.
That's so true. I love it. It's because once you do the time audit and you realize that a lot of the things that you do are like kind of not productive, so you can actually squeeze in the time to do your self-care, and also the self-care would help you to be able to get the stuff done. And then instead of feeling overwhelmed and getting stuck, it will help you to clear up your mind and be able to do things more productively.
Yeah, and that's initially, of course, we push back and say, no, we have to do it all because that's what's ingrained in our heads, right? But when you actually look at it and say, oh, well, this on my calendar, there's this local neighborhood get together. Well, do you enjoy the neighborhood get together? Do you have to go to the neighborhood get together? Well, it's okay. Well, then don't go, politely decline, and take that time for you.
Right. Yeah. Ask yourself if you find it enjoyable, how would it benefit you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at all the medals and things that you got in the background. So tell us more about those.
Sure. So this is kind of my little tribute to myself, because for a long time, even in high school, some of my old high school friends joke with me because in high school, I couldn't run a mile. I was so out of shape. And when I started transforming my life and really getting back into shape, I started running. And initially it was, I don't like running. It's not for me. And then I really started to not only enjoy it, but I also got with a group of friends who would run together, and we did all these team events. And so it became not just about the running, not just about collecting the medals, but we became like the second family where we're always there supporting each other through these different events and things. And so it's just kind of a reminder to me that, on those days where I don't think I can, or I'm tired, or I don't want to run, or whatever it might be, like, I really can, because I have, right? I've pushed myself to do these different things. And so it's just the reminder that it's there, it's within me, and it's possible.
Oh, I love that. That's a really great reminder. Just the motivator too. And
Yeah.
think about what you had to do to earn those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right. Feel like I'm jumping from places to places, but can we talk about the chapter of the book that you wrote, and how that started and how that went, and how did you even, get to be part of this?
Yeah. So it was a great honor, actually. My good friend and contact, Danielle Black, asked me to be a part of this. She was putting together a book of different women's stories, of different infertility journeys. She had a journey herself, and she said, you know what? Not enough women are talking about this, and not enough women are healing from this. And we're doing as we do as women, is we are keeping it all inside, and it's really hurting us because we're not allowing ourselves to heal. We're just kind of burying it inside and carrying on with life. And more women need hope that they're not alone, that we can talk about this, that we can heal from this. And it doesn't mean that we will forget it. It doesn't mean that it will go away, but it does mean that life does go on, and it can go on, and it can be joyful and happy.
That's so true. All right, so let's talk about the this, like, in terms of you say you do yoga once a week, at
Yes,
least once a week,
at
and you do
least.
meditation, self-care on Sundays. And what's your like morning routine like?
My morning routine, I always joke and I laugh because those with small children know that the mornings can be completely chaotic. I wish I had that morning routine. Some days, where it's like you wake up and you meditate and you do your gratitude journal. And um, in my house, because I am a single mom, and I also have a puppy. So when my son wakes up and the puppy wakes up, it's okay, it's time to go. It's not, hold on, let me meditate. Let me, let me do my gratitude journal. So my mornings are a bit crazy. And the fact that, I'm typically up walking the puppy by about 5:30 in the morning. Um, I do my short gratitude list, my top 3 things that I'm grateful for. And then it's just, getting everybody ready, getting my son breakfast and out the door so that he can get on the bus. And then off to the work I go, off to the races. But what I really do with my meditation and my yoga is I reverse engineer it. A lot of that I do at night when my son is in bed, just so I have that quiet house. Um, maybe one day as he gets older and he sleeps in, I'll have the morning routine, but really the morning routine is a mind clearing walk with the puppy at 5:30 and then my short gratitude list.
Yeah, morning routines can be tough. I have a 2-year-old, and
Okay, so
yeah. She's sleeping now, but she can wake up at any minute, and so it's like you really don't know her schedule.
Yeah, and they don't understand, nor should they, hold on just a minute so I can finish my morning routine. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Hmm. Right. So for your coaching, you said they're 90 days. So what if
Typically 90 days, yeah.
90 days? And sometimes clients go for more, like they renew their 90 days or something.
Yeah. I mean, typically clients, it's 90 days because my goal is in 90 days, I get them on the path. We get clarity on their goals and where they're going. And we get them the tools and support so that after 90 days, they can fly on their own. That's my
Hmm.
goal.
Okay, so these are private clients, or you do group clients too?
One-on-one coaching.
One-on-one coaching. I see. What? Okay. So with this, what kind of some of the books that you would recommend for women that had similar experience as you did and went through similar things, and to help them overcome or help them, just the mindset, emotion, and like, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, Silent Grief, Healing, and Hope. It's 15 women's different stories about what they went through and how they've come through on the other side. And to be honest, the 15 women in this book, I didn't read or know their stories until the book was published. So even though I went into the book with them in a collaboration effort, I didn't get to know or truly understand their stories until this was published. And when it was published and I finally got my copy and I was reading it, I felt for these women because while we're all have similarities, whether it's infertility or miscarriage, every woman's story is so unique. But there was one thing that stuck out in almost all the stories is that we almost all felt like we were alone and we were broken. And that is the one thing that I said with putting my story out to the world is if it helps one woman understand that like she is not in this alone. Because I remember feeling that awful, awful feeling of being alone and broken and nobody understands me and nobody sees me. Like, I don't want any other woman to go through that. So Silent Grief, Healing, and Hope has the 15 different women's stories. Another one of my favorites on infertility is by Shannon Wooten called Infertility Sucks, You Don't. Really understanding that this is not you personally broken. This is something else that's going on. Shannon's one of my favorite people in the infertility space because she's such a fighter and she just speaks really, truly how it is. And it's not you and you're not broken and you are loved.
Shannon, can you say the last name again? Because I know there's another Shannon that talks about the whole birth and process and how to help women deal with the whole, pregnancy and stuff. I don't know if it's the same Shannon.
Yeah, Wooten, Wooten.
Okay, maybe it's not the same one. Thank you for sharing that. I gotta, just share. I'll share the books in the description. So how do people reach you if they want to try your program and work with you?
Sure. So my website is wellnesswarriorcoaching.com. Otherwise, I'm on social media, Facebook and Instagram, both under Wellness Warrior Coaching.
So for listeners, you said you offer a 20% discount for the coaching?
Absolutely. So any woman who signs on through the coaching that's referred through or comes through you, I will offer a 20% discount to them. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
for being
you.
on with us today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you.